What's up, everybody? It is a crazy market out there because we had the Ethereum breakout, and today I have got our expert trader from the Mars High Club Paradise here on the show to chart a bunch of altcoins to work out what are some of the best entries on alts that we can actually get over the coming days, because there are lots of opportunities in the market. So we're going to run through Bitcoin and Ethereum as usual. Then we are going to get a little more degen, look at some of the altcoin setups that we think could perform well and give you the exact entry plans for those alts. Paradise, how are we feeling today? Been a pretty crazy last week or so of trading.
Underslept. That's the word I'd use. Underslept.
Underslept, overworked.
Yeah, and underappreciated for sure.
I mean, underappreciated, I don't know, because I think the Discord's been loving your trades. I mean, just look at some of these trades here. You had the 53% on MOG yesterday. You had 320% on Bonk. That was an absolutely banger trade. That's been one of the biggest runners. You had the SBX trade, 600% as well yesterday. Then before that, you had a trade on that Ava AI coin that absolutely pumped. So I think the Discord is appreciating your work right now, man.
Yeah, good. It's been fruitful. I definitely haven't slept very much, but that's just the nature of it, right? Lock in when you need to, and then take it a bit easier when you don't.
There are just periods in the market where you really need to be focused. And we were chatting before stream. I was degening into a bunch of stuff on chain. We're going to keep that for tomorrow's stream because I want to keep this a little bit more structured and actually look at the setups we have planned for you today. But in tomorrow's stream, make sure you are subscribed. I'm going to be doing, my first live stream. This is pre-recorded and it'll be going out just after, probably within 20 minutes. But tomorrow I'm bringing back streaming and we're going to degen there. We're going to get some of my researchers on to look at some low caps. We're going to, and then I'll share some more of the degen stuff. I already shared 2 of my trades in the Mars High Club that I took this morning. That's where I post like my degen alpha first. So if you do want to come join the Mars High Club, now would be an amazing time, given the fact that the vibes are higher. There's lots of opportunities in the market, as you're going to see today. And come join, be a part of the community. But Paradise, take it away with the Bitcoin chart. Tell us what's happening on the king, and then we'll talk about maybe the new king in the market.
Yeah, indeed. The underdog. So BTC, just in a range at the moment, right? As we can see. I'm kind of just like took a trade the other day at the value area low, TP'd it last night, the value area high. It's just doing the rotations here. What we want to see basically is just price hold this point of control, the PSC of the range. Now, I kind of have like 3 scenarios for this. Looking for this to hold. If it marks up from here and flips this point of breakdown, supply level up here, could probably look for continuation into new highs from there, because this will effectively mark a higher low that would confirm a high break in structure. If we start to lose this, we've had London open an hour ago and we haven't had much volume come in yet. So I was kind of watching for this to pump from here, or at least drop off. If it drops off from here, 0.62, like 62% retracement into this.
It looks
H1
a tad weak
FPG.
right now.
It does, but it is holding this level, and it is just like you can see in these wicks, price being bought up every time it comes down to test it. So you can also see from obviously it's the PSC of the range, but just the volume profile. This is the biggest node here, so we just want to see that held. A couple of scenarios though, like if this doesn't hold, look for a retracement down here into the H1 FPG. If you don't see reaction there, it doesn't bounce, and I'm kind of just looking for scenario 3, which is perfectly fine, which would be just a range rotation back down to the value area low. Potential to come down here, maybe get like some sort of sharp wick to fill this inefficiency over here into
and that would be a massive spot loading zone for me if that does happen.
Exactly, yeah. 115K, big inefficiency to fill. We get that, a lot of alts will absolutely puke, and that's where I'll be loading up and stuff. We really don't want to say trade much lower than that. And then we start risking coming back down to the breakout level, which is not bullish. I know a lot of people say, retest the breakout zone is good. I completely disagree. It's a complete unwind of momentum. So if we get back down to like 110K, wherever we break out from, like 109, 110, I won't be bidding it. I'll be more looking for a close back inside the range and like shorting it down to the 90s. But that's, well away from here. Just from local PA, there's sort of 3 scenarios I'm looking for. Just let me also put on my demonstration, easy for people to see.
But once you see the next chart we're going to show you, I don't think you'll be feeling too bearish. I mean, I've also whipped out the Bulls jersey today just to match the current vibe in the market.
I didn't pick up on that, see? It's underslept.
It was hidden by the microphone a little bit, but shout out Bulls.
All right, so this has been a phenomenal run so far. in terms of what it was, in terms of price action, like
And this is
consolidation
Ethereum,
here.
by the way, if you
Yeah,
can't see
Ethereum.
the little ticker.
Consolidation here had the big deviation below. Once we reclaimed, easy trigger. Now we're marking up. I was looking for yesterday to find some resistance here at this this high time frame pivot level. We absolutely just blasted through it. We're having like 12-hour divergences form into it. This is a weekly point of breakdown, so a weekly supply level here that we just absolutely rinsed through. I was definitely not looking to take any fresh longs in this yesterday. I caught spot on this down the consolidation range when I was on my break, but yeah, I did not expect it to just push up this hard. So now that we're up here, what I'm looking for, if we have any sort of cool off, it's like a big push so far. Any cool off, I'm looking for us to come down to like the 3100 zone. So any sort of, near enough retest of this pivot level for marking up. The target would be these equal highs, which is basically all-time high, give or take. Is that all-time high, 4,200? Yeah, I believe it is. Yep. So that would be target one. And other than that, if we start to consolidate up here and form a range like this, just on the lower time frame, I'll just be looking for that schematic in here. So we consolidate up here and find acceptance there. Look for some sort of range like this, maybe a deviation by the reclaim, target the new highs. Once again, that would be another long trigger up into here. Yeah, ridiculous. I think I was reading, we were discussing that runner tweet before, which said,
of the ETF flows, absolutely insane. Billions
record-breaking
flew
ETF
into ETH
inflows.
yesterday. Yeah,
it's nuts, man.
What was it, 700 million? I don't want to get the numbers wrong. It was high. It was record-breaking. Is all you need. It
was record-breaking. I think if you equate it to BTC's market cap, it was like 4.25 billion in flows or something.
And just to recap, like why this is happening, like obviously there's this narrative, with Larry Fink buying Ethereum asset tokenization, but also World Liberty Finance, which is trading at a pre-market of 20 billion FDV. They've built on Ethereum rails, and their new stablecoins launching on Ethereum, which is set to be one of the biggest stablecoins in crypto. So there's this narrative now behind Ethereum, and then the fact that it had been underperforming for so long, people see this as an obvious catch-up trade if they miss Bitcoin. So it's actually that classic like effect of Bitcoin running and then Ethereum running, and then we'll probably talk about this later, but then altcoins running, and that's already something we've started to see getting front run. I talked about it in yesterday's video, but we're still, the good news is for alts, we're still in Ethereum season. So can you imagine what will happen to alts when Ethereum's at 4K, 4.5K, 5K? Yeah. Like that's an infectious environment for altcoins to pump. So I think people have to sit back, relax. You don't need to FOMO right now, but just be happy that, Ethereum is actually leading. And this is the trigger that's actually caused alt seasons in the past. And this is the first time this cycle since briefly in November that we've actually seen Ethereum rallying versus Bitcoin.
I think what you touched on with FOMO there as well, I think what a really like healthy thing to see was ETH was pumping, right? And the betas were lagging like quite drastically. And I think that was just an indication more so of these institutions bidding for the ETFs versus retail interest. So if there's retail interest there, sure they'd be bidding Ethereum, but you would have seen the betas like popping off and quite likely outperforming Ethereum, which we just are sort of starting to see now, like last night, but we're not, in this run up, we weren't really seeing it. So it was a good indication of the bid there. And I think, what you said about once we get up here, not feeling FOMO, like if you go out and look at most alt charts, they're still down horrendously compared to where they were. So I think if ETH's actually breaking out and making new all-time highs up here, it's going to get very silly very quickly.
Yeah, and many coins won't, many altcoins actually won't recover highs, or coins that ran in November won't be the ones that run now. And this is something that I really think you got to understand in the market. It's very attention based, where attention flows, liquidity goes. So I actually did a tweet earlier today about the fact that you don't need to preemptively position too much. Of course, have your core portfolio, have your core beliefs, your core tokens that you want to invest in, but you don't need to pre-position too much, because you can actually afford a lot of the time to wait for the market to tell you what the hot narratives are, and then you can play them accordingly. So we saw during the tariff stuff, Bonk and Useless bounced the strongest. So these were the coins that I've been trading, and those are the ones I sized up the most on, because I noticed that they were outperforming. Now you're seeing a lot of the memes are outperforming. So I'm focusing on trading them, and I'm focusing on new on-chain runners as opposed to focusing on, some of the utility coins or AI coins that were running in November. So you can wait for the market to start to give you signs of a narrative waking up, and then position a little bit higher on confirmation than trying to preemptively bid old altcoins that may come back. Because the issue with that is you could be waiting on the sidelines for literally 10 other narratives to pump before your coin finally gets a small pump. And that's ultimately why, due to altcoin dispersion, I don't think everything will go back to all-time highs. But I do think ETH going up is very good, and the sentiment is actually allowing some of these other narratives to run, and big runners to take place, which is the most important thing. It's that the sentiment's strong and actually enables alts to pump. So just keep that in mind before you rush into buying a bunch of alts which haven't moved yet. I know it's tempting to go and, oh, these haven't moved, I'm just going to ape in, but you got to understand, you got to play the narratives as well in the market. And yes, you can do a little bit of pre-positioning on all right, I think AI will come back, so I'll position a little bit there. That's totally fine, but don't do it with all your portfolio. Keep some room to get into the hot stuff, because these runners can just keep running in the right environment when retail piles in.
Yeah, exactly. That's that attention flows, liquidity goes thing is such a good saying. I mean, I actually got asked on Twitter the other day about would I buy DOT here, Polkadot, because it's just reclaimed the levels?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. You're not just buying things because they're reclaiming key levels or coming into key supports or whatever. It doesn't mean it's a buying opportunity. You need that attention there. So me personally, I am bidding stuff that, where the narrative is, where people are bidding. And it's as simple as that. You just buy what other people are buying. It really is.
It's great advice. Sorry to butt in again. I know I get comments.
No,
Stop
you're
butting
right.
into paradise. But I have a good additive point for this. The way you should construct your watch lists are, firstly, put the coins that have a strong narrative in your watch list. Then do TA after. So TA is giving you the entries on coins that have the right narrative, not the other way around. What a lot of traders get into the mistake of doing is they chart first. So they'll go on to an old Ethereum list and then start charting coins. Oh, this is reclaiming, that's reclaiming. I think that's the wrong way to go about it, because those coins may not have any fundamental catalyst to keep that pump going. Whereas if you can synergize, find confluence between the fundamentals and the technicals, you have much more upside and better risk reward on your trades.
Yeah, that's phenomenal advice. Honestly, everyone should listen to that. I think absolutely identify the narrative first and then see if the technicals can give you an entry, because the narrative is what floats everything. That's what brings the volume in, and the technicals just help you decide where you can get on board with that volume. I've got multiple things set up for that.
Management.
Yeah, I check this every day. This is basically just all the different categories at the moment. So we have memes, AI, L2s, DeFi, and all that. I basically just look in the morning at each daily open, which is sort of leading, which has the attention. Then I can narrow that down via, other spaghetti charts. This is broken into sectors. I can see today, something I've been paying a lot of attention to today is CRV, just because you can see how much of an outlier it is to the rest of DeFi. And you can just look at stuff like this and sort of gauge where the attention is, so to speak. I also have this, which is like a generic mindshare chart. So anything that is currently in the meta, so Bonk, PENGU, SPX, Fartcoin, all the things we know have a lot of attention. I put them in their own list and sort of see what's outperforming from that to long the strongest, and sort of let the betas, the weaker ones chill out. Sorry, I'm quite slow today. Had a late night again.
That's all right. I'm caffeined up, so we're gonna juxtapose each other.
So yeah, what you said about the narrative is spot on, man. And I sort of do that every morning with my watch list. This one's a bit messy at the moment, but I have the
You've been
mindshare
doing
category.
It for months. Yeah.
I have the mindshare category, so everything that is important, and then I go through, either scanning through different sectors, like ETH Beta I've got up here. I've got stuff for Sol, all of that. And I'll sort of go through this each day. If I know Ethereum's outperforming, then I'm just going through my ETH Beta watch list. And then I'm just flicking through very quickly to see what's offering nice trades at good levels. I think, just a bit of organization like that goes a long way. I built these a year ago and I've just got to update them now, but just low caps, AI, gaming, BRC, RWA. When you identify which narrative is pumping based on having a spaghetti chart that correlates to it, you can then go in and actually go through the assets individually and see which offers the best setup. So not only are you identifying the best narrative, you're identifying the best coins within that narrative. So maybe out of a sector with 20 things that's pumping, you narrow it down to the two best things. And that's how you don't spread your own attention too thin, but also how you capitalize on what has the most sort of attention behind it.
It's great advice, and I want to use this as a chance to give people some homework for the weekend, because it's a Thursday, but you might be watching on a Friday or a Saturday. This weekend, and this is something I'm doing as well because mine get messy, spend some time just organizing your charts, your TradingView and your DexScreener. So what I'm also doing is I've got my on-chain list on DexScreener, because not all of the pairs are on TradingView. I mean, I know you can manually add pairs, but I find it easier just to like spot trending on-chain stuff, add it straight to DexScreener. So I have my TradingView watch lists. I'm going to spend some time this weekend really refining them, like my active trading list, my RWA list, my AI list, my Solana list, my Bonk list, my meme list, etc. Like really refine that, get an organized system going, because once you do it once, then you just need to spend a little bit of time on upkeep. And then also get your DexScreener or Dex tools, whatever you use, Bounty Bubbles, CoinGecko. Get your list of on-chain stuff as well, because DexScreener is probably the best, because there are lots of runners there as well, and we'll be talking about them on the live streams. But homework, do a bit of organization this weekend, because all my best trades, or anyone's best trades, it all starts with awareness. So if you're not aware of what's pumping, if you're not aware of a breakout, how are you going to trade it? So it's awareness first, execution later.
Yeah, 100%, man. I have a direct correlation between when I started to take trading more seriously based on my journaling, and how much just better I performed and how much more capital I was able to make. And that was simple things like, having really curated watch lists, having a process for how you identify where narratives are forming, where volume is, where attention's going. And even just like, if you're using TradingView, do yourself a service and get TradingView desktop. It's much easier to navigate with things. You can have all these tabs up here. What you can actually do with these tabs, you can sync them to colors. So if I click on, we're on MAV right now, I go through to my execution time frame. MAV comes up here as well. But I have a whole process for it. So I identify stuff in like a clean price action chart. It's coming into key levels. I'm looking for different order flow things like signs of absorption, whatever. I can go in here and I can track all of that. VWAP across different across 4 screens, so I can actually see over the yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly where we're getting dynamic levels to trade off. Then you also have the spaghetti stuff, but yeah, really, it takes you a bit of time. It'll take you a weekend to actually set up and refine it to a point you like it, but after doing that, I can find trades and execute quite quickly now, and I think that's just
you know what I want to
back
do
in 2017, yeah.
So no, sorry, you continue.
Just to wrap it up, back in 2017 when I started trading, like you could throw a dart and everyone was just as stupid as the next person. No one really had much of an edge and you could just make money. But now it's, the game's a lot harder. So you need to sort of have your tools sharpened at all times.
I was just going to say, you just gave me a funny idea. I'm moving houses very soon, and in my new house, what I want to do, I don't know if this is good for my mental health or like ADHD, but like I want to have get like the 6 monitors, like those setups you see with like monitors on like the roof and to the side, and like have one with like X Pro, like a feed of like projects that I invest in, a feed of like smaller creators that I'm following, alpha creators, and then like big creators that I'm engaging with or tracking. Like have X on one screen, have Discord on another, have TradingView with what you've done with TradingView desktop on another, have my AI on another. So like Grok, Claude, GPT, have my WhatsApp, Telegram on another for comms, and Slack or ClickUp for business stuff. And then my middle screen is like my work screen. I mean, it's maybe a bit too much, but like, I don't know. I was toying with the idea just then of like doing that, like the big setup.
It's not too much at all, bro. It's exactly what I have. I've got 4. I'm
6.
literally looking at you talking
4.
on the top screen right now. So my main screen is like TradingView and Discord, because it's 34-inch widescreen, so it's split. Bottom screen is my trading terminal, which I also have spaghetti charts on. Also have a Ryan terminal for looking at volatile assets. Then the top one is Aga and Velo, which has different order flow things. And then I have one on the right, which is just for using with Discord and Telegram and that. So I have like a notifications feed. So basically sitting in like a cockpit effectively. I'll share a photo on Twitter later.
Cockpit is that was the word I was looking for. I don't know how people sit at cafes. It's like very common here in Dubai or Bali or even Australia. Like people go to cafes on their laptop and like do their trading. Like that's for me. I need to be like in the seat, in the control seat.
Me too, man. I suck at just using a laptop. It's like how people always idolize that thing of like trading on a beach somewhere. I was like, I cannot think of anything worse than trading from a beach.
The only thing I can do beach is on chain. Like I can do that on my phone, but I can't do
that's all you need.
TradingView. Anyway, to finish this second part of the video, let's just go through alts, starting with Solana, and then let's get into some of the setups we have prepared for people.
Yep. So one of the main things I'm watching, this might be a way off, but you can come back to this if you're watching the stream, think about it, have it on your chart, whatever. This Solana Ethereum chart. Now, this is a high time frame, probably the most important key pivot on the chart, this 0.05 level. Now, effectively, this is a deviation right here. If we can get back above this and reclaim this level on Solana, then I think I'll be rotating quite heavily out of the ETH ecosystem into Solana, and that's most likely going to be memes, stuff like Whiff, Popcat, things that are still down bad.
We'll talk about Pump soon.
Yeah. So obviously there's things with current meta, but like Whiff and Popcat, stuff like that, they don't have the meta at the moment, but the charts are quite bottomed. So things like that I'm going to be looking to rotate into. Obviously bonks and whatnot, that's more like a momentum play, but in terms of like getting sort of max RR opportunities, as soon as this happens, that's going to be my trigger to look for that stuff. So we can circle back to this next stream after. Maybe it takes a while, but we'll see. It's a pretty important thing I want to point out.
That happens. I'll probably talk about it later. Not today, but I got a soul meme.
Yeah, well, I've got the watch list. I'm just constantly eyeing it to see if there's any sort of uptick. But yeah, basically relies on reclaiming that level. Now I've got some stuff here which you requested. This stuff in here, and I've also got a bunch of stuff I'm watching. So I'll just get through that relatively quickly. Anything you want to start on?
I want to talk about the ETH Betas. So Pepe, and then I put MNT in there. Obviously, there's Aave, this curve, but I don't want to bog you guys down with a million setups. Starting with Pepe, I think obviously if ETH keeps running and if ETH continues to lead, which it has been, I think we could see catch up in the betas. Even if ETH starts to stall out at a certain point, we've actually never seen Pepe, if you think about it, in an Ethereum all-time high environment. So imagine if ETH breaks 4,500. Pepe came around after the ETH all-time high in 2021. So Pepe being the main ETH beta, just imagine what it can do in the right environment. So I think it's not just a beta, it is the top meme coin on Ethereum and it's not going anywhere. So look, I don't know what you think technically, but fundamentally, I think it still has multiples in the right market, but interested to know what you think.
This is the thing, when you get, I'm not going to say alt season, but when you have a big run on alts and the rising tide really is lifting all the boats, you don't really need to be focused so much on technicals. You more just need to switch off the brain and just go, I'm going to bid and pray, because technicals are good for getting the entry, of course, but it's once again, it's that narrative thing you discussed. You don't even need that much technical ability. If you see the narrative there, you can literally just market buy it wherever you want if you think it's going up. But in terms of Pepe right now, this looks phenomenal. I think it was last stream we did together, which was a while ago, where I was pointing at this, or a couple of weeks ago, pointing at this, basically this deviation. Once it gave the reclaim, it's just sent up, and now it's hit this sort of mid time frame pivot level. So just this 4 hour here in this cluster, we effectively have broken through that overnight, and we're now testing it as support. So I think Pepe looks remarkably strong. If we pull up something like the Noodle as well, it will have, so bounced off the 4 hour Noodle. Consolidation under a key level generally leads to a breakout in these conditions, especially once you're bouncing off key levels like this, key dynamic levels. So Noodle looks really good. If the Noodle can catch up here on the 4 hour, I think just even bidding this zone right here is really good for Pepe. Basically bidding into support with the 4 hour Noodle, which has proven itself to be strong. So that's all I'm watching for this, and sky's the limit, right? I don't even really think too much about targets when the market's like this. I've been holding spots since this breakout down here. I'm just looking for this to basically keep going up. I mean, the next high time frame pivot level is effectively up here. It's going to use this high volume node over here if I want to narrow it down. So effectively the level we're looking for next is up here, which is, a decent way up from here. It's another...
To simplify it, I'm just buying spot on dips. Pepe's my first 100x ever. One of my best coins ever, but I obviously have laddered out a lot, so I'm underexposed versus what I used to be. So my plan now to get a little bit more skin in the game is just to buy spot on dips. Very simple.
I know you've been using the Noodle a lot in your analysis. Which
it helps a lot.
Yeah, man. Your analysis has been spot on lately with all the key levels, deviations, buying on trending stuff. honestly, like in this market, you can use whatever time frame you want.
Yes.
And I know I advocate a lot to say, you should be choosing whatever time frame respects the noodle the most and bidding that. But honestly, the 4 hour is probably going to be your best bread and
So
butter
good right now.
trend time frame to buy with the noodle. So honestly, you don't need to confuse yourself so much, because I see a lot of people when I teach them how to use it in the group, they're like, "Oh, do I use it in the 1 hour? It's tagging the 15 minutes, tagging the 1 hour, it's tagging the 4 hour. Which one do I use?" If you just want to keep it simple, just use a 4 hour, some sort of stochastic reset. If it syncs up, great, like we got here. This is a bread and butter setup for me, and I've been over it before, but stochastics resetting as we hit the noodle, as we sweep a kilo. That's deviation there. There's people trapped, push it up, short squeeze. This is what I use time and time again. So for me, we have the bots in the server. I don't know if you've spoken about them recently, but in Mars High Club, we basically have these bots which will tell you, it'll scan the entire Binance watch list every 15 minutes, and it will tell you what is tagging the money noodle on 15-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, 12 hour, and 1 day. I'm going to get an M30 in there soon, and weekly as well. So you can go through that, and you can basically just say, all right, all these things are tagging the noodle. You go see which one you like, and you basically sort of start to correlate. Do any of these have current narrative? If you saw Pepe
These
tagging,
bots are amazing.
Yeah, they're brilliant. That's like my,
so good.
How I trade every day using them. You don't want to buy everything that's tagging the 4 hour noodle, because you'll give yourself a bad time. But what you want to say is, all right, Pepe is tagging the 4 hour noodle, and ETH is pumping, and it's the main ETH beta. This is what I'm going to put my money into. Maybe something like Polkadot's also tagging the 4 hour noodle. That's not where you want to put your attention. So just a quick bit of advice there. But yeah, so for me, what I do is I just set alerts on the 4 hour noodle. I don't know if you use alerts on it, Miles, but it's really handy. So next time it comes up and tags it, I'll be notified. And I actually got one earlier of PENGU, because it had not yet touched the 4 hour noodle since it broke out.
And this is good, right? There are coins that are absolutely exploding. And I'll give you an example while you're looking for PENGU now. It was Bonk. Like, it's exploding right now, okay? So it's all right. Maybe you've missed it. You don't need to FOMO into something you've missed. But if you go into the 4 hour, you can see like it's way up. But at some point, this is going to come down and retest as it kind of meets. And it could happen soon. So if you just set an alert on this level, it might eventually end up tagging it. So this might go like this. This might go up a bit more, and then eventually do something like this. And then you want to be notified on the 22nd of July. It's in 5 days, right? But 5 days ahead, you've got that notification, so you can make a trade. Obviously, if you're in the Mars High Club, you'll get alerts on these coins. But if there's a specific coin you want an alert for, just set alerts. It's just the best way of being aware of what's going on.
Yeah, and I can guarantee you, with the attention span of your average crypto participant, myself included, 5 days is a lifetime. I took that bonk trade a week ago.
5 days. Ooh.
Yeah, I took a bonk trade. I had to post it this morning so that our bonk buys are up on spot 2x. I'm like, felt like weeks ago. It was actually just 7 days ago. So yeah, PENGU right now is giving a perfect signal. This is something I'm probably going to look to pick up a position on. So it's tagging the 4 hour noodle for the first time, getting stochastic reset. It's at a key level as well. I marked this out earlier, but it's just like a key pivot level. So this to me looks like a decent buy right now. And this is kind of just what I'm doing in trending markets. Obviously in ranging markets, just looking for range deviations and stuff. And on a lower time frame, looking for that too, to get entries into the noodle on a low time frame. But yeah, so use it, scan through it.
What percentage is PENGU down from the peak?
Oh, like this local peak or the highs?
Local.
High. Yeah, 18%, give or take.
It actually could be a decent one to start looking at laddering into.
Look, from a price action perspective, it is tagging this 4 hour demand over here, but it also has this nice low to sweep into the FEG. But at the end of the day, like you look at something like PENGU, you start wanting to see signs of exhaustion. Like I think when I'm buying stuff on the Noodle, I always look at higher time frames. So maybe something's respecting the 1 hour really well. PENGU could be one of those. So yeah, so we can see PENGU respected the 1 hour really well. You could have bid it the whole way up. Now we're starting to lose the 1 hour. So all right, the meta is shifted there, the regime shifted. Now we need to start looking at the 4 hour, but we need to start looking for signs of exhaustion. Now we are getting 4 hour divergences, an awesome oscillator and RSI up there, but they have effectively almost reset coming down to the 50 level. So that's another thing as well. If it's reset on the 50 level, that divergence has effectively played out, and they can look for a new momentum reset where price trends up again. So this is something to watch. And, a lot of people have a really hard time bidding like mid-trend on things because like, well, what if that was the top? Well, as a trend trader myself, like you're always wrong on your last buy. You can compound all of these on the way up, buy it here, buy it here, buy it here, buy all this. And eventually you go to buy it again on this and it dies. You're like, oh, well, I caught all these and I was wrong on the last one. That's generally how I end my run on trends.
Yeah.
Always wrong.
That's a
last
good
one,
way to
but I'm fine
go.
with that. Yeah, it's just a
Yeah,
simple
yeah.
way to go. It's like a very low IQ way to approach the market. And that's why I like kind of preach the noodle so much in the group. Like people who aren't traders and don't want to learn to trade, I'm like, well, just bid it every time it hits this, and then you're wrong the last time, and then you go look for something else.
Well, it's bagging in this environment. It's also like I know you had switched from like noodle trading to a much more like range based like swing trading style during June when the market was so choppy. But like now, as soon as we're entering like trending territory and a lot of alts that are reversing, now it's like it has the most efficacy that it's had since like November last year, pretty much. So you got to know when to use it, and now's a great time, especially on H4.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get back to the charts in a sec, but I can just show you something very quickly. If I hide the candles, right here, I can tell this is not where I want to be using the noodle when it's going sideways. And I can tell when I want to switch the noodle back on is when price is going up. So obviously the noodle starts, it's directional. If it's pointing up, you can generally just keep riding it. Once it starts going sideways, you're in a ranging environment and you're just looking for like liquidity plays, price action stuff. You're not really caring about how the trend is. So it's a simple way to sort of look at it. You don't even need to look at price half the time.
And if you guys do want access to the noodle, of course, it's in MHC. Link in the description if you do want to join and get access.
And the bots that go with it. They're the important bit.
Yeah, very much so. Okay. All right, rapid fire now. So they're the betas. MNT as well. That was another beta I was watching. Maybe we can run through that.
Yeah. So
I actually hit a very good trade on this. I actually did post about it on not just Discord, also YouTube. So if you guys are in this from my video last week, well done. I think we're up like 30%, 20%, something like that. I'm still in spot, but it's only just started to break, so I've kind of held TPing too aggressively.
You remember that stream we last did MNT, where I was saying we need to bounce off this weekly demand? Had a really good reaction off it so far. Now, effectively, we are at like one of the major points of control right here. You see this little node over here, a high volume node. So effectively, we clear that and we start accepting above it. This thing can mark up. Now, once we take out these highs here, it's pretty much thin air up until we get into this supply pocket up here. So pretty much there. So I think from here, as long as we can hold this level, this can mark up very easily, like a good 30 to 40%, depending on where it tops.
And these these coins are very reflexive to the market. So one narrative that I think you guys should look into are tokens that are reflexive to sentiment. So in a bull run, what tokens do the best? So I think ENA is one of them because of funding rates. I think centralized exchange coins are another. And MNT obviously has close ties to Bybit. I know they're doing a lot more than that. They've got their banking, they've got their index fund, obviously their L2. But also, they're very close with Bybit. So there's a lot of incentives on Bybit to actually buy, hold, stake MNT and use the Mantle network. So and what happens in retail environments where a lot of retail comes in, well, they go to centralized exchanges, they start trading on them again. And Bybit obviously being one of the biggest after Binance, has an advantage there. So that's also one of the reasons, aside from it being like an ETH beta as an L2, that I've been trading this and holding this.
It's a nice buy depending on where you got spot. But yeah, this is this is a good zone. I think definitely we can see it mark back up to here if things start to get silly. There's not much to push it up to there, but like there's not much resistance here. Just these highs. It's liquidity draw currently. It's equal highs. So you can at least see that run. If we start to consolidate there in a small range, I just don't think there's much resistance in these inefficient candles here. You see the liquidity.
And then the next token I wanted to talk about, we won't have too much time today to go deep into the narrative, was Pinlink, because just like Mantle, if we're talking about reflexive tokens, YouTuber coins are a narrative that I'm keeping my eye on. Now, I'm not saying ape every coin YouTubers speak about, but I know Becca spoke about Pinlink in his latest video, and a few others as well, like Seapool. But you can't, I like to pay attention to the coins that these big creators are discussing, because when retail comes back, and Becca starts getting 400 or 500K views again, I'm on 70K views, Leo's on 100 to 200K views. Like, what are the coins that they have a vested interest in? Obviously, there's Black, the new token from Elio and Becca. We'll speak about that another time. There's Superverse, but I did notice Pinlink reversed, so wanted to get your thoughts on this as another one of his picks.
This one's great. From a standard price action perspective, just deviated the low. This is a long consolidation range since like February up until pretty much June. Bottomed out. Kind of looking for something similar on checks like we discussed last time.
It
Slow
actually
gets
hit
back above.
that
Yeah.
exact buy zone you pointed out on checks at 9. It bounced back to 14. It's come back down now today, but that was a good bounce from that level on last week's show.
Deviation reclaim is like my go-to setup. It's what I use every day for everything. It's what I've used for like years and years. It's just so simple and anyone can pretty much trade it, but I'll save that for some sort of educational piece when we have more time. But yeah, basically deviation below, it's now at the point of control for the entire range. So this is obviously going to offer some resistance. We can start flipping this and we get up to the range highs. Like there's just no resistance after range highs. I think we get above here and we can just mark up. I never say anything's going back to all-time high, but at least to the next supply cluster, which is going to be in here somewhere. We probably localize that more down to this low volume node gap here.
Well, it
But
has the narrative.
This can go.
Becca, AI, RWA. So it has the right narrative. Just needs
exactly
in terms of price action.
That's the thing. Sometimes the price action means virtually nothing. If it looks bearish and Becca gets on and shills it, then this thing will just pump regardless. So one worth having just for that, just for the what ifs and wins. But yeah, I really like this setup. Another one you
left curve thesis.
Yeah, that's it. We'll look at Pump because we're all trading that in the group at the moment.
So I bought more. So I kind of stupidly bought more yesterday, and then it tanked because there's like FUD that Elon was selling. To be honest, if that's true, I think the reason he's selling is so he can buy back lower, because you got to remember they're doing buybacks, and they've got the reason I'm still bullish on Pump midterm is because they've got the market cap's 1.8 bill or 1.7 bill now. But they've got over $2 billion that they actually raised. So they have a huge treasury to actually buy back, pump this. And I look, I don't know if this is the word, but people are saying they're going to crime it. They're going to crime it back to 10 bill. Now, I don't know about the word crime, but like, you just feel like they're going to pump it at some point. I don't know, unless I don't think they just want to let it die. Like, I really think they're going to use that treasury to do something big at some point. So the reason I'm buying here, and I think the charts are actually validating my fundamental thesis, is just because I think risk reward over the coming months is to the upside. It's got a good narrative, but I front ran it a little bit too much yesterday, but I'll average down. But that's what I'm doing. But am I being an idiot? Let me know what you think from a technical point of view.
My issue with this from a technical point of view is no chart looks the same. Whether you're looking at Bybit, you're looking at Binance, you're looking at MEXC, they all list differently. But that's why I just localize it to this low time frame range.
They also all listed at different times because it was like a really bad distribution.
This is my problem with it. So for technicals, but for technicals, I've been trading it a bit on the MEXC chart. So quite simply right now, I was looking at this to either bounce at the range high last night and the anchored VWAP from the listing, or be a deviation. It was a deviation. I got no triggered along, rejected off the VWAP back down. Now, I did add to my position this morning. So my position was literally just blind aping the listing candle. I only bought a very small amount. But we're forming this M30 divergence into this hourly demand down here. This hourly demand was tested once, had a really good reaction. Kind of banking on it being the same again. And it's a really simple thesis for me. Like my loss on this, on bidding this level, is maybe 5%. Because if we start accepting below the range low, then I'm out of it. And these are my favorite trades because people are like, well, if you get stopped out, that's not good. It's like, it's fine because very simply, I know where I'm wrong, losing this level. And if it reclaims, I'll just treat this as deviation and I get back in pretty much where I bought.
That's also originally. My inval.
Yeah.
If you could send me this chart, it's better than mine. So, I mean, you can post it in the group after and I'll check it.
Yep. It's MEXC on the 30-minute. Like if I go to 15-minute, this thing just goes silly. I'm not sure what all this pre-listing data is as well. I'm not sure if it's going like pre-market or something. Then you go back to the hourly, it's fine. So, yeah, it's a bit ridiculous, but that's what I'm watching. And otherwise, if it loses out, starts trending down, then it's just Dump.fun.
All right, very quickly, Useless and Bonk, strong coins. Let's go through them. And then I want to talk about Sahara because it has your bread and butter reclaim thingy.
Yep. Not the right chart for Useless, but pretty much just looking at this to be a deviation on the top or start trending up. Now, Bonk keeps pumping, but Useless is stalling. So we need to sort of consider what's going to happen with that.
Can I show you my chart?
Yeah, I need to get a better one. Hey,
I'll show you my chart and tell me if I've done something wrong. But this seems to be the pocket. I mean, I know on the 4 hour it's kind of chopped with the noodle, but it did respect the majority of the way up. So like all the way up here, it had a couple weird wicks and kind of formed this base. So like rally base rally, you also talk about that, and then it broke out from this high and it's come down to test. So for me, and I don't know, let me know if you would chart like this, but I'd be buying in this pocket here. Could do one of your little deviations where it like comes down, fakes out, and then like reclaims. But this for me, like the 30 cent levels a level maybe to look at getting another entry.
Yeah, this is a way better chart. This is the one I had originally.
Next year.
Phenomenal H4 respector on the noodle. Up here, it started to chop. So trending really well, starts to go sideways, chops in a range. You can see the noodle's no longer respected. Now it's kind of being respected again. Basically, I don't give too much thought to things like this. Like if it holds the H4 noodle, it gives the stochastic reset, you can bid it. And this is literally one of those ones where I just look at it, I'm like, I'm just going to be long until I'm wrong. The narrative's there, so why not? And quite honestly, just I think bid the H4 noodle, especially if it lines up with some sort of sweep or stochastic reset. And then eventually you're going to be wrong and you just cut the trade when it starts to trade under it and accept under it. But that level you had was basically, yeah, I mean, these on-chain coins, obviously it's not just on-chain anymore, but just simple support resistance flips for these, especially when it's supported by trend. So I think this is actually a pretty good zone if Bonk continues, but Bonk, is quite overextended now. So you got to think if Bonk does pull back, this will probably, it'll probably be the deviation that comes down. So
although it didn't rally as hard as Bonk, so I don't know, there might be slight separation there. Let's see. We'll only know once Bonk starts to come down a bit.
Yeah.
Don't trade this now. Just do what I did. Do what I said before and wait for the 4 hour like noodle retest on this one, in my opinion.
Yeah. Bonk's the same. Like this run has been ridiculous.
By the way, Bonk and Pump are counter trading each other. So if Bonk dips, Pump will pump, which probably lines up with your chart. And when Pump dip, Bonk pumped because they're competitors. So they're like literally inverse at the moment on the low time frame at the moment.
What's funny too is the third forgotten one. So Launchcoin just necked as soon as they both started, doing well. So, I had these three. Wow. I was considering owning all three of them because I'm like, well, it's just an easy play. But, if this comes back down the range low, I'd pick up Launchcoin. But for now,
it's the launch wars. It's the Launchpad wars, guys.
Exactly. Yeah. I think Bonk will actually come out on top personally.
Interesting. Yeah, but for this one, the only thing I think Bonk ecosystem is looking the strongest metrics wise, and I own more useless. Actually, my useless pack probably similar to Pump now. But the reason I think Pump could still have a good shot is because of the freaking treasury they have. Now, maybe Bonk also has a similar size treasury, but I mean, Pump guys made a lot of money. They made 700 mil and then they raised another 2 billion. So obviously that doesn't guarantee they're going to reinvest it all, but they've got liquidity to play around with if they want to give streamers insane grants and do a big airdrop and just make noise. Yeah, so let's see. Sure. It'll be an interesting war. It's not over.
For me, this is a high time frame pivot level. This top red line. I think this needs to pull back somewhat. If we get a pullback in this in the 4 hour noodle, I think this is probably a bid.
Yeah, that's where I'll be bidding. 100%. Alerts on.
Yeah. I already bought spot down here, and once again, this is that setup I was telling you guys about just earlier. Here's your range form. Here's your deviation under it into a key POI, and then it reclaims it, and it gives a beautiful retest here. I bid it in the demand, added a bit more once we retested the pivot level, and then it's just absolutely sent. And this is like the thing you want to do in this market. You want to buy a spot on stuff that's strong, and then you want to just leave that and not touch it, even do it on a separate exchange or separate account, like sub account within your exchange, and then just switch over to perps. So you can pretty much just squeeze the extra lemon out of the juice as it keeps running. That's what I've been doing with Bonk. I'm taking like 6-7 trades on it intraday on perps and just letting that spot run, which is up like a 2x now. But I do think pull back into here, and I might consider adding some more. I'm not sure yet.
Final coin, I would do Sahara because this might have a little reclaim thingy.
Yeah,
that you like. It's so basically just to give you guys a bit of fundamentals. They've got huge backers, so they're one of the most strongly backed new AI projects. They kind of remind me of Grass, like a new Grass, and obviously that did really well in its early days. Like they're focused on data training. But what I like from a chart perspective is like they launched, and I wasn't really bidding because I was just waiting for like the price to find a floor. But if it is starting to find a floor, now I think it becomes more reasonable because obviously early investors, they might sell in the early days, causing a cascade. And then usually these tokens like follow this fractal where they recover if they've got a good narrative. And I think this does. So it's been on my watch list, but now starting to get some technical triggers.
Yeah, this one looks good. Deviation word of the day. Once again, this is just a range. It can do this.
And it's on Binance. AI on Binance. So there's another narrative.
If you're bullish in this coin and it ranges every time it comes to the range low, bid it, build your position there in spot. If it flips this, there's nothing but thin air above. If you're not good at identifying supply and demand zones, get yourself the visible range volume profile. It's just a standard indicator native to TradingView. And you can just see where the high volume nodes are and where the low volume nodes are. So basically, this is a low volume node in here, this gap, and then we have a little high volume node there. You can basically just line that up with, you can see over here, it lines up with the point of breakdown, the key supply level. So I think if it flips this level here, this could mark up pretty damn quickly through here. Good 20% run. These low volume node gaps get filled quite quickly, and that's what you want to see. So price, one of my favorite setups. I say that too often here, but yeah, if price is compressing under a key level, and the noodle's coming up and it's basically squeezing between the two, and then you have this big inefficiency here. When it pops, it just rips. And
I need to add this to my chart. I'm going to do that after this because I have another indicator. This is better.
Yeah, man. Like if you want any alpha on it, hit me up. I've got heaps of videos and I can tell you everything about it. Also, you can just get the generic one where you draw it across a range. It's like the fixed range volume profile, so you can identify specific regions you want to see the volume in. But that's basically 46 minutes, right? So if you want to wrap it up, I was going to go over some of my stuff too, but I don't think we have time. But it's just standard stuff.
We don't have time, but we'll save it. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the live stream. So make sure you're subscribed. If you do want to join the Mars High Club and get all of our updates, the indicator, everything basically, my new calls, some of the things I degened into this morning, and all of the early alpha from all of our contributors, link in the description below. Come join the community. It's an absolutely amazing community, especially right now. There's lots of excitement and just lots happening, lots of opportunities. So come join the community. And Paradise, once again, thanks for coming on stream here, and I'll see you again on the channel probably next week.
Yep. You say you're having a public stream tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
US Open.
Awesome. I'm going to do the same on my personal, on my Twitter at Asia Open, if anyone's interested.
We'll cover the opens.
Cover the opens. That's what we do. Good stuff.
All right, guys.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Cheers. Peace.